Yo, what's going on, YouTubers, gamers, and fellow hobbyists? Welcome to P&Q, my question and answer series, where you get to ask me questions or put comments to me, and then I respond the following week. Now, I've got my cup of coffee, so, I'm all good to go. Now, you can contact me one of four ways. You put your comment or question down below in the comment section. Okay, fair enough. Or you can email me at miniwarzone@gmail.com for an anonymous response, so I won't reveal who it's from. Or if you make a video series yourself, or you make a video where you ask a question, it might even be a one-off, but you ask a question and I see it and I think, yeah, I can answer that, then I'll answer that here as well. Or, as has happened to me on a few occasions, if you bump into me, you can ask me there and then. But then I can think, I was asked that question, but I can also address it here as well. Fair enough? Okay. I have 2 emails this week, and 5 video questions, and some comments left from last week, and 1 from the week before. So we've got it all going on this week, which is super awesome. That's what I like. I like questions. I like comments. This is how I interact with you, and how you can gain an insight into my life as it is, for what it's worth. Anyway, we're going to start with emails, I think, just because it's easier. There's no preference here involved. I answer everything I can do on each episode. Anyway, the first email says, haha, you mentioned Monkey as a TV series. Do you remember we were talking about Monkey, a TV series? Or it came up in a question or something, I vaguely remember. Do you have any specific memories of that show from your youth? Keep up your awesome content output. Well, thank you. As far as awesome content output, in terms of quantity, I try and do as much as I can. And I did 5 videos in one day last week. 5 videos in one day. Wasn't easy, and I wasn't just churning out for the sake of churning them. I was on a mission. I had to go with it, and I had the time to be able to do it, so it was kind of cool. Oh, Monkey, man, that's right, because I said they're thinking about, well, they are bringing it back, aren't they? But I don't think it'll be as good as the original, because they never are they? But Monkey, yes, I have loads of great memories of that show from my childhood. When I was at primary school, it started when I was in a school called Seaton Primary School. It's no longer there, well, not the original one anyway. But my friends and I, we used to play Monkey at playtime, and we used to reenact episodes that we'd seen the night before, the week before or whatever, involving fighting some demons or what have you, and we'd all take on a role. The friend called Adrian Moore, he was called. He was always Monkey. He was always Monkey. He was the best one. Actually, he played. I'll talk a little bit about it first. He was usually Monkey. My friend Mark Hallett, he was usually Pixie. My friend Brian, I forget what he was called. Brian. I think it was Brian Hodge or Brian Hodges or something. It was Brian anyway. It was a long time ago, so forgive me about the memory recall. He usually played Sandy. I often would play the role of the demon or monster. Every so often, for a laugh, one of us would be Tripitaka, because it was just fun, and then I would be Monkey or Pigsy or Sandy or whoever. We would rotate it that way, and it was super fun, just such fun. And even when I moved away from Seaton to Plymouth, I used to phone. Well, I'll get my mum to phone my friend. She'd phone his mum, and then he'd put him on the phone, and I'd talk to him, and we'd talk about what happened on Monkey. On the previous episode that had come on, like that week or whatever, and we'd just talk about it, and I don't know, it was kind of our passion for a while. Us group of friends, the 4 of us, it was our passion and I used to look forward to it every week. I was glued to that TV set. I mean, it was awful dubbing, but it made it. It just worked for me. For that time, that moment of time, it worked for me. The music was fantastic. It just suited it. You know, the special effects weren't that great, but it just worked. It worked. And it was an awesome time. So, well, yeah, thanks for that question. Really cool. Nice to remember that. Okay. Next email I only got today. I thought I'd better check my emails before I come and do this, and this was on there. It says, obviously my emails are like longer than this, but then they have a question in. It says, I can't believe it. I knew you looked familiar. I actually saw you in your band when you played a festival in a place called Ivy Bridge. You probably don't remember me, but I did shake your hand and some of the other band members too. And he said, do you ever see your other band members now, as I know that the band are no more? Even more strange is that you are on YouTube showing a hobby that I share. Keep up the great work, brother, and keep rocking. Well, they say small world, eh? Is that because it's come up in a couple of videos in the not too distant past about my old band, Roadhouse Bound? The keys are over there. I've still got the original keyring for the band, actually. And because I sent my Wolf brother Mifos a copy of our CD that we did as that band, so that's probably where it's come about. And you've obviously done a bit of looking back on previous videos. You'll find some stuff. I'm sorry, I don't remember. I vaguely remember Ivy Bridge. I vaguely remember it because we played in the back of an Arctic truck. Well, the stage was an Arctic truck. It was all open, and it had the lights and everything. I remember that, and the smoke machine was like on overdrive. And it was quite windy that day. I do remember blowing the smoke across us, and I'm like, I can't see a thing, you know. I'm sorry, I don't remember you exactly. No, that's just I'm not very good at remembering certain things, and but do I ever see my other band members now? I see Pietra quite a bit. I keep in contact with him. That's, seeing in person. I have conversed with John, the singer, on Facebook and things like that. And Jules, the other guitarist. Neil, drummer, he's a bit of a strange one. Either he's being a recluse right now, or he's just off doing his own thing. I think he's doing long distance lorry driving now. I believe. I think. I don't know for sure, but everybody's got their own thing they went off into. Yeah, I mean, we had a blast as that band. Quite short-lived, but what a ride! It was really good. And yeah, we went off and we did our own projects. I mean, Pietra's doing his own musical projects now as a solo artist. I'm doing really well at it, I might add. He's a phenomenal musician. And Jules went, I think he formed up his old band again after. And he does a bit of session work as well, I believe. I think John got married. I think he's had another kid. But like I say, Neil, I think he's doing lorry driving. Pretty sure. And me, I'm doing this. But yeah, so all doing our own thing. Far as I know, I think we all keep our hand in the music scene a little bit. So I got my duo that I do with my wife called Rorke's Drift. I've got a gig coming up on the 17th of June at St Paul's Church. You're welcome to tag along. Anyone's welcome. If you still live fairly locally, you can tag along to that one. Welcome, everybody's welcome. Yeah, I will keep rocking. Practiced only yesterday, actually. My fingers are nice and hardened up now, so I can do all that stuff. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Right, we are onto the video questions right now. And this first one comes from Kuja Hira on his Hira Hobby Sunday. And he says, or he asks, and by the way, Hira Hobby Sunday, I look forward to every Sunday. Great series. Chills me out on a Sunday. I think I'm just thinking, yeah, nice and relaxed while I'm watching it. But he said, what is your favourite brand of phone and why? I don't think I've got a favourite brand. Well, if I was to have a favourite brand, I suppose I would lean more. I've just got a new phone, actually. If I can dig it out of my pocket. I've just got a Samsung Galaxy J5. That's not the latest one, I know that, but it's got a cracking camera on it, and I just like that. And I've got a gel cover front and back. Yeah, but it's got a really good camera. Yeah, I love the camera. It's just so cool. And it is, I don't know if it's the second or third Samsung I've had. I think it might be the third. So I suppose if any, that would be a favourite of mine. I like iPhones. I've never had one. My wife just got herself an iPhone, and that seems quite cool because it's nice and easy for her. Cause she's got an iPad, and it's a fairly similar layout and navigation system to that. And of course, it's fast, fires up really quickly, and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, I just like the Samsung Galaxy. I just like it, nice and easy. I like quite a big phone, but not overly big, because I've got quite big thumbs and fingers to text with, and they've got to be quite big, so the screen needs to be fairly large. Otherwise, I struggle. And you remember the old days? Was it the Motorola that had the little buttons on it? Oh, I couldn't use that. I never had it, but I knew people that did, and I was like, "Oh, how do you use that, man?" Couldn't do that. But yeah, so I'll say Samsung Galaxy as a model, but brand you're after. So Samsung, I would say. I quite liked HTC, although my last one was a bit pants, and the camera on it was absolutely shocking. It didn't even autofocus. It was rubbish. So I will say Samsung. There you go. And the next video question was from Spider666 on his Road 2 series. I think it was Ali that asked this. He said, when there is a great big massive storm where it is raining non-stop, what do you like to do? Nothing really. Pray that I don't have to do anything. If I'm stuck in here, which has often been the case, and it really hammers down, it's quite loud as well. I'm just thankful that I'm in here. I've got my heating on. It's just heating up lovely now, by the way. It's like toast in here now. Heats up really quickly, this place. I like to not have to do anything. It's like to be in, and or if I'm at home, I'll shut the windows, or at the house rather, I'll shut the windows and just shut all the doors. And I'll tell you what I like to do. This is true. If it's raining, I like to have a hot drink in my hands and just hug it and feel the warmth radiate from the mug or the cup to my hands. And then when I drink, that kind of warms me, because hearing rain makes me feel cold. Just one of those things. Now, my brothers and sister, just before I was born, lived in Singapore, because my father was in the Navy, and he was posted out there for a few years, and so the family lived out there. I was actually conceived in Singapore. I was nearly born in Singapore. That's a different story. But it didn't rain there very often. It was hot all the time, constantly hot, really hot, oppressive heat. And so, on the few occasions, rare occasions when it did, it was like a really torrential rain, they would run and get their swimsuits and swimwear and go out and lay on the lawn and just lay out in the rain. They loved it that much. So that's what they used to do. You also ask, how do you have my chips? And that did actually come up on, I think, the previous Pinky, I think. But anyway, doesn't matter. I have tons of vinegar with it. I'll have salt as well, but tons of vinegar. So salt and vinegar, that's pretty much it. She also asked, when in the history of the UK have petrol and diesel been the same price? I think I have seen it on a couple of occasions. 2, maybe 3. I might be stretching it. I know on at least a couple of occasions I have seen it. One of my local garages. I've got 2 local garages, petrol stations. They're about the same distance from me, but they're in different directions. And one of them, I do specifically remember them being, I think it was £1.16 a litre. And that sticks in my head. And it was that all day. It's exactly the same. I thought, don't often see that. And yeah, but they're a dear garage. I think they're about 119, 120 a litre now. I mean, my car uses diesel. That used to be really cheap. Now it's not. So I mean, a lot of the buses around here have changed over to gas. They've those big gigantic gas canisters on the top of them. I see, and that's a lot cheaper. I know, so it makes sense for them to do it. But other than that, I don't know. Next video question is from myself. Is there a food that when you see it, taste it, or smell it, that takes you back to your childhood? And what is that food? Lamb stew. Oh, with dumplings. Yes, takes me back to my childhood. Used to have that often when I was very small. I'm guessing it might have been quite a cheap meal. Because I remember there was always lamb bones floating around in it and stuff like that. But the dumplings, I can still taste it. I remember it. It takes me back to our kitchen. We had an orange table. I know that sounds odd, but we had an orange tabletop in our kitchen. We all used to sit around and eat this stew. And it was, I wasn't that blown away with it at the time. I hated dumplings as a kid. Hated them with a passion. But now I love them and I miss them so much. And I like, yeah, you can buy dumplings. I don't know what it is, because they're only like suet, aren't they? They're really simple to make, but it just can't get it to make a stew the same. It just doesn't taste the same how I remember it. So that's just one of those things that has vanished into obscurity. But oh yeah, lamb stew. Oh, with split peas, and it was like a lovely, gorgeous, thick, like soup-like consistency. Oh, it was lovely. It just takes me back, and that takes me back to like the rest of my childhood, and remembering things like watching Monkey on the TV, and stuff like that, and playing the very first Space Invaders game, and I used to have a board game called Game of Dracula. And we used to play that as a family. It just takes me back to that era. It just does. A couple. I don't get to see my mum as often as I would like, because she lives in Honiton. I live in Plymouth, and although that's not that far away, it's quite expensive fuel-wise. You know, talking about 40 quid just to be able to go and see her. It's not cheap. I suppose it would be cheaper by train, thinking about it, so you know, that might be something for me to think about in the future. But anyway, that side, I'm digressing now. But the answer to my own question is lamb stew, a specific way of making it, like the way my mum used to make it. Anyway, that was mine. So thank you myself for my question. You're welcome. Okay, next video question comes from TLR Wargaming and is Ask My Audience. He said, would you collect a game if no one in your gaming group is interested in playing the game, and it's not a skirmish or low model, if it's not a skirmish or low model count game, so would I collect a game that was like a big thing? I needed a lot of models and things. Possibly. Yeah, possibly. I tend to gravitate towards the game rather than the people that play. What I mean is I don't get into games just because of what my local meta are playing. If there was a game, so say there was a new game that came out and it was a bit like Warhammer, but I really, really was into it, and it was like, but it was loads of models and this, that, and the other, but nobody else played it, I would try to convert other people into playing it, and I'd put out messages and offer people, does anybody want to play this game? Or even if nobody else had it, I would say, I have it, we can meet up, we can play it, it's a really good game, and it's a lot of fun. And I would just try to promote my cause. I think that's what I would do. Pretty sure that I have a vision in the future that is going to be the case, because I have a vision and I feel it in my bones that we will move in the future, and Mini Warzone will move in the future, and we'll be somewhere near the sea. Now, I know you Americans don't laugh at me, because I know you probably look at us and think, well, no matter where you live in the UK, you're by the sea. But it doesn't work quite like that around here, because we don't have straight roads like you guys do. We have some, but nothing like America. So it would be right by the sea with a sea view, and so I would have to integrate myself into the local community and get to know the local meta there, people in it, and I'd put it out there. I'd say, look, anybody want to play this game, or these games, come round, and I'll introduce you to them. As long as they're not complete arseholes, we'll get along fine, and we'll have fun, lots of fun, and we'll play the games. So would I collect a game if no one else was into it? Yes, I would. I'm more in for the game than pandering to what other people are playing. That's up to them. If it's a great game, then other people will like it when you show them. Period. And of course, skirmish or low model cat games. Yeah, sure. Why not? Doesn't matter anyway. Then does it? So yeah, good point on that. But that's a good question. Okay. And the last video question is from the Nerd Life on his Q&A, and he was saying, one car that you could own, your dream car, however you want it, what would it be? What would it be? My dream car would be a pickup truck. Simple pickup truck, but it has to be four-wheel drive, I think. And this pickup truck is going to be what I use when we live by the sea in our new place. I'll need it because it'll probably be on a slopey hill or something, or in a field or something like that. And I'll drive around with my dogs in the cab, and we'll just have we'll do pickup truck stuff, like gather logs for a fire and things like that. My dogs will help me. So my dream car, that'd be a pickup truck, really nice one, nice four-wheel drive. I don't know a make or model as yet what it would be, but it'd be something I would look at and go, ooh, I want that. And I'd look at a few reviews on it, see what the deal was, and I'd say, I want that. Okay, and Kristen asks on the same video, she said, if you could create a lip colour, then what would it be? I don't know what colour specifically, but metallic. I'd have a metallic tinge to it. So whatever colour. Metallic red. Yeah. Or gold. I think that would look good. draw your attention and the sparkly lips, and yeah, I think that would look good. Metallic red or metallic, gold. Well, gold would be metallic anyway, wouldn't it? But yes, so a metallic colour, particularly red and gold. So that's all those emails and video questions. On to comments that were left on previous videos. I'm going to start with one that was left from the week before last, but it was left after the Friday when I recorded. So this comes from WG Revival. I haven't heard from you for a while, sir. So good to see you again. And he said, liking the commitment to strong brews. Here in the Midlands, they're way too milky for my Lancastrian palate. It sounds like I might be safe buying a cuppa in the southwest. Or are you unusual in your tea tastes? I'm unusual in my tea tastes. Plymothians tend to drink their tea milky. Okay, I'm generalising here, but for the majority, I've noticed the majority of Plymothian people tend to like their tea milky, and I can't bear that. Ugh, it makes me feel sick. No, I'd rather have no milk than too much. In a normal cup of builder's tea, well, how I refer to it. Nah, show it the milk. That's more my thing. Just a tiny little drop. And all the other teas I prefer without milk anyway. And as you know, or may know now, I don't know if you can see it. There you go. My coffee is black. So I'm pretty unusual. I mean, even my wife likes strong tea, but I like it stronger. So if we make two teas and one's slightly darker than the other, I'll have that one. Great question. Frost and Fists. Now this is from last week. He says, "Great episode, my brother. I always enjoy watching these and getting to know a little more about you. I don't think to vinegar my fries very often, but I also enjoy them that way." Now, yeah, I mean, I like vinegar on fries too. When I say fries, I mean those little thin ones that literally like what you get a lot of in America. Our chip shop ones are quite fat. I mean, I'd say like about that fat. So you put in chips like your fingers in your mouth. And sometimes they're like little, and sometimes they're big, and I just love vinegar on them. I love vinegar. If I'm ever going to have chips with or fries, as you call them, with no vinegar, it will be the little thin ones, like the French fry type things. But I do have vinegar on those as well, if I can. Also, I appear to have answered the next purchase for the hobby question incorrectly. Did you? I didn't notice. I discovered last night that I'll need some beige paints for a commission. So tonight I'm picking up some Zandri dust, Ushabti bone, and Carrick stone. Hey, take care, my brother. Much love to the fam as always. And I said to you, I always run out of paint at the most inappropriate times. What I should do is like I'll go. This is not a good example because this is liquid green stuff, but I should go this and go, like take the lid off and go, it's looking less than half. I might get myself another one of those. But do I do that? No. If it's something like that, which I don't use a lot of, not very often anyway. Thankfully, I don't have to. No, it'll go back in the drawer, and the next time I come to use it, or there'll be a time where it's like, I really should have got that when I said I was low. And yeah, that's what happens to me. There was a time where I had to write a list of all my paints down, and there was a time where I had every single Games Workshop paint. Every single one. One of each. 2 or more in some cases. But now I use multiple brands as well. So, but yeah. So you got paints. I've got some paints on order actually. They should have arrived by now. Well, they've still got a couple of days yet to arrive, but they could have arrived by now easily because it's from a UK seller. So I'm a bit annoyed about that because one of the paints was it was Lemayan medium, which I use an awful lot of, and that stuff there. You can probably see It's running low. I use an awful lot of it. I think from now on I'll buy 2 at a time when I go to a Games Workshop store. I should have just gone in and bought that from GW. I was going to order one from GW actually with my next GW order, but I haven't got anything that I need to get from GW yet. I'm one of those people that are waiting to see what's going to happen with 8th edition before I make my purchases. So yeah, I'll probably get one then. You know, I mean, a lot of people are buying up stuff left, right and centre that I can see, but I'm not one of them. But good answer from the other question that I asked, and good question. Was it because it was you, wasn't it, that asked about how do you have your fries, or was that someone else? I can't remember. I can't remember. Yeah. No, I can't remember. I'm looking at it now. I can't see. Did you ask a question on your? I'll tell you what. It looks like I might have missed your question, but I will. I'll make a note of it, and I'll do it on next week's P&Q, because I've got to that stage here on this one now where, you know, some videos you start and you think, oh, nah, start again. Now the intro was rubbish, and you think, oh, I'll just do that again. I was only 2 minutes into it or whatever, but I think I'm at the point of no return now with this one, so I'll keep going. But I will find your question. So it looks like I've not got one from you there. You usually ask one on your Wolf Brother Wednesday, and I just, for some reason, I must have missed it. I don't know what's happened with that. Anyway, I will pick it up and answer it. Definitely. Eric Beer 40k is next. Moving on to recover from that. He says, really enjoyed the chat. That water meter thing is just crazy, lol. Isn't it just? Water meters. As the king of Q&As, hey, dun 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 dun, king of Q&As, and an inspiration to most for doing our own shows. Whose Q&A in the community are you most excited to watch, and why? Dude, don't ask me to choose between my children. I can't do that. I have no favourites. I love you all with equal measure. That's my answer. Super Wargamer said, man, I've asked you this like 5 times, but are you sure you're not a Doomsday prepper? And I also only drink bottled water. Fluoride causes brain damage. Make sure to look at the labels on the water, as some have fluoride added to help dumb down the masses. No, the water I buy, I get it from 2 sources, and they've got different labels on, but they're both bottled at Chase Spring, and there are no additives in it at all. I do check that, because what would be the point else, right? Aside from saving money. But yeah, so yes, I check everything that goes into my mouth, everything. So much bad stuff out there. I could do a lifelong video series on stuff like this, but that's not for this channel. But yeah, no, I'm not a Doomsday prepper. I'm not preparing for it. I'm just ready for it. Crunch Basilicus, this is the last one, so you're nearly done, folks. If you've made it this far, well done. It says, nice P&Q, Pete. The Ghostbusters board game was pants. That said, what are your thoughts on the remakes of classic films, and which ones, if any, have you enjoyed? We'll talk about Ghostbusters. I quite enjoyed the Ghostbusters remake with those gals that were the Ghostbusters instead of the guys. I thought I would hate it. I really did, and I wanted to hate it, but I didn't. I liked it. I quite liked it. I found it enjoyable. Other remakes of classic films. Usually I don't like remakes, but that one was okay. I can't remember any specific ones that I've watched, at least recently. I always tend to gravitate toward. I mean, take Ghostbusters. I do prefer the original, so yeah, the original I think is better. But I did enjoy the remake of that, and like I said, I wanted to hate it. I thought that's going to be rubbish. I think it got a bit panned, but I never pay any attention to critics because who are they? That's a subjective opinion. Film critics of the type you used to get back in the 80s, like Barry Norman. Well, he's just a failed film director, wasn't he? So they're just failed directors and things usually. But I'm trying to think. I can't think of any remakes. Classic movies. I mean, things like Tarzan and Legend of Greystoke and things like that. I mean, I'm surprised that hasn't come up more often as a film. Although they've done one recently, haven't they? With what's he called? Guy from True Blood. I can't remember his name, but and I haven't seen it. But yeah, I mean they've remade Spider-Man. I don't know how many times, but that's not what I call a classic movie. The Thing. I haven't seen the remake. I tend to, if I've enjoyed an original, I tend to stick with the original most of the time. Like I say, Ghostbusters. I think I was more my daughter. I don't know if my wife really wanted to see it, but I think it was more my daughter wanted to see it. Like it had women in it, and instead of the men. And I sat down and watched it because I thought this is gonna be rubbish, but I did enjoy it. It was quite enjoyable. But yeah, anyway. Other than that, I can't think of any movie remakes. As a whole, I'm just not a huge fan. If the original was rubbish, in my opinion, then I'll always give a remake a go, thinking, well, it can't get any worse. But then again, I still can't think of any. Sorry, my mind is blank. My mind's turned to clay. But that's it. That's all the questions I've got for this week. My Wolf Brother Mythos, I don't know what happened with your question, and I'll have to seek it out, but I will answer it. There's a promise. I'll try and find out what happened there, and maybe I meant to write it down and didn't. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, please don't stop asking them. Please put your comments or questions down, and I will address them. And sorry it's been longer than usual, this one. But sometimes they're short. If you look back, some of my P&Qs have been quite short in the early days. They were quite short, but sometimes, like now, they're longer. Anyway, enough jibber jabber. Thank you for watching. All brushes lead to war. I will see you on the next video. Bye for now.